Hi there. Thanksgiving dinner is going to be a little different this year, and so I did a practice run by cutting up a turkey and roasting the separate pieces rather than roasting the entire bird. And the end result was fantastic. This was my first time butchering a turkey, and the word butchering certainly applies here because I only did a mediocre job cutting up the bird. But that didn't matter because that only affected the final presentation. And as you'll see, the roasted turkey parts still turned out just fine.
You don't have to brine your turkey, but it's definitely recommended because using a brine will make your turkey more juicy and less likely to dry out. You don't even have to baste the turkey when it cooks. I like to make a buttermilk brine for my turkey, or rather a curdled milk brine because buttermilk can be expensive. Just mix a gallon of milk and a cup of vinegar and let it sit for 20 minutes. And then we add kosher salt and additional spices to the curdled milk. You don't even have to boil this brine, you can use it right away. Now we can take out our thawed turkey and remove all the extra stuff. We'll save the neck and the giblets for making turkey broth tomorrow, and be sure to pull out the pop-out timer and any plastic braces if there are any. We put a turkey bag into a large container, just place your turkey in the container, add the brine, press most of the air out of the bag, and then tie it up. And then you can put it in the refrigerator or a storage area with a temperature of less than 40 degrees. And we let it soak for at least 24 hours. If there's one disadvantage to this method, it's because there's a lot of prep work. We start by preparing an herb butter to brush over the turkey by melting butter and mixing in spices. Once this is done, we remove the turkey from the brine and rinse it off. Pat the turkey dry. And now comes the fun part, using a knife to cut the turkey into separate parts. This is what I meant by butchering the turkey, because I fully admit my attempt to break down the turkey was nothing like what a professional butcher would do. But it still worked. After setting the carcass and the backbone aside, we further removed the breast meat from the bones, so it would cook faster. Finally, it was ready, and we had the legs, the wings, and the breasts. All of the extra turkey parts go into a big enameled cast iron pot, along with the giblets. After adding more spices, we fill the pot with water, cover it, and bring it to a simmer so we can have turkey broth for making the gravy. And now we can break out the cast iron. We heat the oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and now the dark meat goes into one large cast iron skillet, and we brush the herb butter over both sides. And we do the same with the white meat, which goes into a separate pan, and we brush the butter over the bottom and the top. We place a probe thermometer into the breast because the white meat will finish cooking first. And both pans go into the oven to roast. We set the target temperature to only 120 degrees and let the turkey pieces roast. It only took 50 minutes to reach this temperature, and now we raise the oven to 425 degrees so we can get a good crisp skin, and set the target temperature to 155. And only 20 minutes later, the breast is done, and we can remove it from the oven and cover it with foil to rest. Now the probe goes into the dark meat, and we set the thermometer to 185 degrees so the dark meat will be falling off the bone when it's done. And only 20 minutes later, the dark meat is finished. It only took an hour and a half to completely cook the turkey, and there's plenty of time to prepare our gravy. We arrange the turkey pieces on a serving platter and cover them while the gravy is prepared. For the gravy, we strain the pan juices from both of the roasting pans into a large bowl, and we're also done simmering the carcass and the giblets. This gives us a huge amount of turkey broth, and we can use the extra broth for cooking other dishes later on. And now it's time to prepare our gravy. This means deglazing the pan with a little of the broth, then adding half a stick of butter, and then flour, and whisking it together into a roux. Now we start adding the broth to the pan and whisking it together and doing this over and over until we finally get to the right consistency. As they say, when it coats the back of a spoon, it's ready to taste. A little bit of salt, and our gravy is done. We have gravy. And with that, the work is done, and it's time to serve our roast turkey. The presentation makes an excellent centerpiece for your Thanksgiving table. And best of all, the turkey is tender and moist, and it doesn't flake apart when we cut it. Top it with the gravy, and this is a turkey anyone would be proud to serve with their holiday dinner.
Cutting up the turkey before roasting has several advantages and a couple of minor disadvantages. Many people would be reluctant to do this because they've never cut up a whole turkey, and this is completely understandable. You do need to use a sharp knife to cut up the bird, and some folks may feel they're not ready for it. The biggest difference with roasted turkey parts is in the presentation, because you don't have a giant roasted turkey as the centerpiece for your Thanksgiving dinner. But as you've seen, you can still present a platter of roasted turkey and allow your guests to pick and choose what they want. Most importantly, this turkey cooks fast. Instead of spending all day roasting the turkey, you can have this done in under 2 hours, and then the oven will be free for cooking other dishes. I'm certain that I'll continue to roast a whole turkey for the holidays after this, but after trying this method for roasting turkey parts, I'll agree this is a great way to cook your turkey, and it's definitely an option to consider. Thank you for watching.